Thank you. We go to Mr. Mike McCaul.
I thank the chairman.
By the way, our chairman of the Homeland Security
I appreciate you mentioning
Committee
that.
here in
Thank you.
Congress.
We just passed a bill last day of the last Congress, 5 cybersecurity bills, 1 codifying, General, as you know, the NCIC, which is like the cyber command within DHS, giving it the congressional seal of approval. I see it as really the civilian portal to the private sector. When Sony happened, I had to ask the question, well, which of the 16 critical infrastructures does this fall under? And it's a bit, it's not clear. I know the President's announcing a cyber plan this afternoon. I just got off the phone with the Secretary. I think the vision is to make the Department of Homeland Security the portal civilian interface to the private sector between the federal government and the private sector, sharing information from various data points, whether it be NSA, FBI, through the NCIC to the private sector, with liability protections to incentivize participation in this civilian interface, safe harbor, if you will, within the department. I just wanted to, and after this I want to talk about the foreign affairs aspect of cyber and the cyber jihad threat to CENTCOM that we just recently saw. But how do you view the role of NCIC, of DHS broadening with respect to an event that happened with Sony?
Well, thank you very much, sir, for the question, and thank you very much for your leadership in helping us with the legislation that just passed and your continued support of the Department. Thank you very much. As we take a look at the NCIC, integration is part of our name with the National Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Center. And as you mentioned, sir, you know, the law enforcement partners, the intelligence community, the other departments and agencies, and our private sector partners are all coming together as part of the NCIC team. On the floor of the NCIC, which I had the honor to direct on an acting basis from August through last month, the NCIC has the ability where we are bringing in folks from all aspects of our critical infrastructure, law enforcement, and the intelligence community, as well as representatives from the Department of Defense, so that we are sharing information. We're very transparent with each other. The information ranges from top secret, sensitive compartmented information down to unclassified information. And we're finding that these partnerships and having everybody co-located and working together is helping strengthen not only our situational awareness, but getting solutions to issues as they come in. We are working together to secure and make our infrastructure more resilient by leveraging the activities of the NCIC. We've come a long way in the last couple of years, and as we look to the future, the legislation that's proposed and the activities that have already occurred are making us
well, the vision I'd like to see is it expands not just to the 16 critical infrastructures, but really to the private sector, to the Sonys of the world could participate in this as well, and I think that's the vision. And I personally, I like the idea that the privacy groups came out so strongly in support of not only my legislation, but also your efforts, sir, at DHS, because there is a robust privacy office at the Department of Homeland Security. I want to just close with, you know, we had the Sony attack, and then we had yesterday an attack by cyber jihadists purporting to be on behalf of ISIS at CENTCOM, saying, "American soldiers, we are coming, watch your back, ISIS." This is disturbing because as a threat vectors develop, as we look at China, Russia, the normal ones, but Iran becoming more sophisticated now with these jihadist groups that we've seen attempting to get this type of technology and this type of malware, now actually being successful at hacking into our CENTCOM, into our military, ISIS. This is severely disturbing to me. We don't know how to respond to these things. We don't, proportional response, what does that mean? Active warfare, what does that mean? And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to work with you on a cyber agenda on this committee because it's outside the lanes of my committee in terms of what do we do with other countries? Do we have a NATO alliance with cyber? One country has hit the other. What is the appropriate response when a nation state hits our infrastructures? And in this case, when a terrorist organization hits our military? General?
Well, thank you very much, sir. To address the points, the first one about the attack and the attribution that it got into the CENTCOM networks. First of all, this was a commercial space, a Twitter account. There was no compromise and there's no evidence of any penetration into government and specifically the military computer systems. Rather, it was a commercially facing bulletin board, as it were, through the Twitter account. And certainly, anytime there is a compromise of any account, it's serious business. And in talking with my partners in the Department of Defense and the FBI last night, they are investigating it with all due vigor. And I will be getting an update from them later today.
Well, so let me close with that. I think, Mr. Chairman, we have an opportunity to work in this committee on legislation that could deal with defining what is proportionate response, how other countries should respond with us. What is going to be the response of the United States of America when our companies are attacked, and when our departments are attacked, and when our military is under fire? With that, I yield back.
Thank you. By the way, Mr. McCaul, I'd be happy to work with you. I was working with Mike Rogers on a piece of legislation, and maybe we can work together on cybersecurity, and I appreciate you bringing it up, and look forward to working with Mr. Engel as well on those concepts, okay?